All right, what is going on, everybody? As you guys know, I've been wanting to start up a little podcast, and who better to join me than I don't even know what to describe you as, but one of the legends of Looksmaxxing. We have Androgenic. Look at him right here. He's just
So guys,
mogging. I'm just getting mogged to oblivion right now, but he's a very interesting guy because it really seems like he's come, onto the scene out of nowhere in a time where looks maxing the black pill is really going mainstream. Why don't you introduce yourself, Mr. Androgenic?
yeah, so guys, so my name's Androgenic, also known as Looks by some, because yeah, I used to be a pretty prominent figure on the Looksmax forum. I signed up in like 2018. I'm somewhat of an OG, but I didn't really tap into creating a platform out of Looksmax until like earlier this year. And I'm pretty much known for having like a really impressive transformation. I used to be like really fucking underdeveloped, fucking looking like a toddler, fucking goblin, scrawny as fuck. And now, I don't know, you can look at me. I think I've done pretty well. And so I've been focused on looks maxing, but nowadays I'm like into the overall biohacking thing, like just optimizing yourself as a human as a whole. So looks, money, status, brain is a huge one, health, longevity, youth, pretty much the whole package.
Right. So you're just interested in biohacking. This is something I've come to become interested in. And I feel like men in general have an affinity towards building things, right? So whether that's in a video game, they want to level up their character. It's kind of the same thing, which is why I think a lot of guys are drawn to it. However, there are risks with biohacking. Obviously, there you're taking potentially substances that can affect hormones. Maybe it could cross the blood-brain barrier, affect your brain, things of that nature. I know for myself, I've experimented with performance-enhancing drugs. Definitely not for looks maxing, but for bodybuilding. I was trying to get big as fuck. I am not big as fuck anymore, but I used to be. And I can tell you firsthand when I used those androgens, it really affected my brain, definitely affected how I look to an extent. And so it's really controversial because there are people who can use the substances to improve or whatever, reach their goals. And then there's a lot of people that fuck themselves up. But let me ask you this. When did you begin to make your transformation? You said 2018, but how old were you?
So I started in late 2019,
Okay.
and I was nearly 19 at the time.
So how old are you now?
24.
You're 24. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you started, did you right away go into taking PEDs or you kind of were soft maxing at first?
So when I first started, I was 18 and a half, and I realized like, fuck, I'm scrawny. I need to do something about this. So I started researching working out. I was just doing like push-ups at home. Yeah. Within a month, my friend brought up like, if I was really skinny, I just got on steroids. And I'm like, well, dude, don't steroids like, I don't know, make your heart explode and like shrink your dick or some shit? But I was never one to like criticize someone without researching. So I was like, fuck it, I'll look into this shit. And then day by day, I was like, wait, this stuff's kind of legit. What the fuck? And, several months later, I started like MK677 and Psalms. And a few months later, that's when I started test.
Okay. Okay. And so how did you find the SARM cycle?
Honestly, I think I came across it on Looksmax, and I was looking into like Rad 140 and OGD, and I didn't. I kind of used them as a gateway into test because I knew that they suppressed test, and I was like, well, I'm scared of pinning because it hurts. So what I'll do is I'll use arms beforehand until I'm suppressed, so then mentally I'll be forced to inject test.
Okay, that's an interesting way to do it. Okay, so when you first started taking testosterone, when was it that you felt the true effects?
I would say about 4 weeks in, that's when I
Mm,
started noticing like big strength gains, really good pumps, like very fast size gains, glycogen retention, etc.
see,
And then
okay,
within like 2 or 3 months, I looked pretty noticeably big. I actually like somewhat of a decent physique.
yeah. Sorry, I was about to cut you off, but I gotta make sure I don't do that because the fucking comments are always like, "Connor, you're cutting people off." I don't mean to. I'm just really excited. Okay,
No,
so I'm
you're
not
good.
trying
You're
to be
good.
rude, but um, I was wondering though because like a lot of these looks maxers are using testosterone for their face, and I personally think after coming off testosterone, I look better when I'm not on it. So maybe it's a looks min. But what's your theory around the facial development that testosterone provides you, because I really have a hard time understanding how it grows your bones or stuff like that. That's what some people are saying. I really don't think it does that. It could masculinize you a bit, but what's your what was it like for you?
Well, I definitely think that test masculinizes the face because, like, for example, the mandible, so the jawbone actually has like a much higher density of androgen receptors.
Mhm.
So that's one thing to go off. And it's also denser in IGF-1 receptors. But I actually remember in late 2019, like shortly after I found out about steroids, because I looked really underdeveloped. I had like a tiny jaw and stuff. And I remember making a thread on the steroid subreddit saying, like, I look really underdeveloped. I'm 18. Like, should I do this to like grow my frame and face? And all the comments were like, no, you're fucking retarded. And I was like, you know what? Fuck these guys. I'm going to be a guinea pig and try it anyway. But the thing is, I always combine test with bone smashing. And I'm like, I'm not even meaning about that. So I can't exactly pinpoint how much was the test, how much was the MK, how much was the bone smashing, but I know the synergy of all of them like did pretty substantially change my face over time.
It's definitely possible, but I also look at people like Chris Bumstead, right, who have used massive amounts of steroids, but it's not like their face really changed. Like he looks older now, but when he's 19, he looked the fucking same, right? So I don't know, and that's apparently when he started using steroids. So do you think a lot of that masculine fuck, masculinization and development could have been due to the fact that you were actually underdeveloped at that point in time?
100%. That is definitely a factor.
Okay.
Like I was a late bloomer, and in general, if you're a late bloomer, you're going to get more gains. You have a bigger window for like really substantial facial gains to take place. So that is definitely a factor. But you can only grow so many bones. Like Sebum already has like good bone structure. He always
Mhm.
did. And so you'd be hopeful not to become like a completely overgrown ogre in his case, in which case I suppose he hasn't. But you do see bodybuilders that seem to have like pretty fucking big facial bones. So it does seem like it's probably doing something.
And so, how far have you gone with the steroids? Have you taken tren? Have you done massive amounts? I've personally experimented with like high doses of testosterone myself. I've never really done like a crazy, crazy cycle, like like 1,000 tren or anything like that. But I've definitely used my fair share. And so I was wondering what the extent was with you.
Well, I've pretty much mainly stuck to test. Like I've tried the orals in low doses pre-workout, most of them, and I tried Nandrolone briefly, and I got brutalized with acne.
Oh yeah.
I tried Tren once in a microdose last year
Mhm.
for a cut, just because of the anti-glucocorticoid effects. That, like make it really good for a cut, really good for just maintaining muscle in a steep deficit. But overall, I would say 95% of it's just been test.
Right. And have you mixed that with growth hormone as well?
I never took GH because back in like when my transformation was happening at its peak rate, I
Mhm.
was poor, didn't really know how to source shit, so I
Yeah.
just stuck with MK. But like the MK plus test synergy does boost IGF-1 quite a fair bit.
Really? Hmm.
Androgens and also estradiol, they increase hepatic conversion from GH into IGF-1 in the liver. And, MK as is standalone at a decent dose increases IGF-1 by like 50%. So you're getting even a further boost when you add test.
Yeah, I just question that because a lot of the time in practical application, like even though something might go up or down, it's not expressed in the body how it would look like on paper. And a lot of bodybuilders have reported that, MK does nothing for them as far as their IGF, they even test for it and it's like, the same. Yeah, that's interesting. So no GH for you. And yeah, you're right. It's really, really expensive. I actually have used real growth hormone and I can say that shit is it fucking rocks. Like that was the best I ever looked. I haven't looked that good. I think last time I used it was like 2 years ago. That was the best I ever looked. People thought I was on trend. I was on all this stuff. No, I was just on HGH and testosterone and a bit of Anavar. It's a great fucking cycle. But something I wanted to ask you is you're quite tall. I don't know how tall you are. You look like maybe 6'4", 6'5". Am I correct in saying that? Somewhere around there?
Yeah, 6'5".
Okay, 6'5". And so did you actually get any height? Because a lot of people on TikTok, Instagram, whatever, they're looking at these looks maxers like, if I do testosterone, I'm gonna grow. I feel like for most people, it's probably not gonna work. But how was that for you? Or were you already really tall?
Well, I was a late bloomer with height. So at the beginning of high school, I was literally below average height in my class, including the girls
Me
in
too.
grade 8. But then I was also like, I was as big as a child, especially like before 10. And
Yeah.
I shot up like pretty hard when I was like 17. And I ended up about 6'2.5"
Mhm.
at 18, and then just slowly climbed as a late bloomer.
Right. So that had nothing to do with like the androgens.
I would say minimally, really, especially since I didn't even have a working AI. So it
Yeah.
wasn't necessarily even beneficial for height overall.
Mhm.
So, I mean, and that's a mistake that I would say if I could go back, I would do it differently. I would use a non aromatizing androgen if I still figured I might be in the growth phase.
Repeat that. Use a non-aromatizing androgen, like using an AI to so your bones don't fuse.
Well, the thing with an AI is that it's risky because you miss one day, you're fucking fused, and a lot of AIs are bunk. I literally never got a real AI until like a month ago,
Mhm.
like in my entire life. So I would say it's a better option to just take an androgen that doesn't aromatize, like a high dose of masteron or something.
Yeah, yeah, but and that would be for looks maxing, not necessarily for like muscle growth. Because if you're to just
Oh,
take
this is
Mash on solo, you wouldn't really gain that much size.
100%. I'm just speaking in the context of if your growth plates aren't fused and you're using it for both like muscle, bite, face, frame, etc.
Mm, okay, yeah, I can see that. We need to grow. We need to grow some like kids or something and give them steroids so we can all be tall, tall looks max chads. I think.
Yeah, well, there are studies on Hanover increasing growth velocity, and it kind of makes sense because I guess probably the collagen synthesis has something to do with it, but most of all,
I thought
it's
that study
androgen
was
which
about your
promotes
dick
height.
getting bigger.
I might be talking about different studies because there's one on height velocity,
Yeah. I
and
was
like I said,
dick
it makes
maxing,
sense
you were
because
looks maxing. That's what it was.
I mean, I don't know. Am I not dick maxing as well?
No, that's
You
yo,
know, the
that's
full
the
package.
fucking that's what we gotta gatekeep that, man. We don't wanna nah, but that is a part of it, like the black pill, is it not? That like the fucking PE shit?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So you lived, you know, life in high school as a late bloomer, and like you said, you were underdeveloped according to you. Then you started to grow a little bit around 17 and 18, 19. You kind of found your way into looks maxing. So how was the difference in treatment between when you were growing up to after your ascension?
Well, it was absurd, especially just within 2020, because at the beginning of 2020, I was a fucking scrawny rat. And by the end of 2020, I actually looked pretty good. I was fucking tan, decently masculine, decent physique, especially adults. And that's where I saw the biggest improvement in treatment because I went from basically commanding zero respect, being treated like pretty poorly, to logging the vast majority of men by the end of the year and getting treated accordingly.
Sorry. I had a fucking energy drink. What do you mean by mogging the vast majority of men? Like you'd go beside them and just like look better than them, and then people would like
Oh,
see that?
I'm not saying that I'd literally just go next to him and be like, I'd enter some kind of situation at like a party or whatever kind of social interaction, and people would obviously sense that I have a better presence than most guys.
And so has that really changed from then to now? Because now you're even more mog, I would assume.
100%. I would say it definitely it kept rising steeply from 2020 to 2021 to 2022. And since then, it's been slower of a rise, but definitely still noticeable year by year.
And so what would be the first thing you would say to people if they want to get that incremental improvement in their looks? Like what's the first thing that they should start with the most ROI?
I mean, the highest ROI is going to depend on your baseline, but if you're anyone like me and you're like scrawny and undeveloped, nothing beats androgens, realistically, in my opinion.
So no gym, just steroids.
Oh, no, obviously the gym as well. Like, I go to the gym every day. That's kind of like a given. Like
Hmm.
these idiots that happily take androgens and don't go to the gym, they're leaving a lot on the table.
Right.
But if I were to choose between the two, I would probably pick take the androgens and don't train. If you
Wow.
like look really undeveloped and you're like that's my opinion because you'll still pack on muscle, right? You'll still pack on equal muscle to go into the gym. At least in the early stages, I would never fucking skip out on the gym and be blasting steroids. But if I had to choose one, I'd go with the steroids.
This actually wasn't even what I was going to ask you. I was planning on asking you, but I'm curious, like, are you strong in the gym or do you lift like mainly for aesthetics? Because like at 6'5" with your frame, I'm really not sure how much you weigh, but I would assume you're actually like pretty competent in the gym because most guys who looks max, they can't move any weight in the gym. They might have a decent physique, but they literally can't even bench 2 plates.
That's pretty absurd. Yeah, I would say I'm pretty strong. Like I've trained in pretty low rep range and like consistently for like 6 years now. I'm pretty strong, but it depends on muscle group as well. Like I'm very strong on like upper back movements,
Nice.
decent strong like bicep and tricep, surprisingly, because my arms are small. My chest is like kind of weak. Even my front delts are kind of weak, even though my delts like a huge strong point.
How did it come to getting girls with the ascension and kind of describe the difference in treatment between like specifically like were you going on dates easier? Were you able to talk to women a different sort of way? What was going on there?
I mean, the first time I ever got shown interest from a woman was when I was like 19 years old,
Hmm.
like in my entire life. And so when we went throughout 2020, it went from like absolutely nothing to like a decent amount of attention. Like, I don't know, a couple of girls would approach me if I went out, maybe like one or two for the night.
Hmm.
And then in 2021, I was basically like a complete hermit. And so I got like no women throughout 2021 up until I got a girlfriend later that year. And 2022, kind of similar deal. 2023, I got a lot. 2024, I got a lot. This year, I get like a crazy amount. But to be honest, I'm not like into slaying anymore. It doesn't really do anything for me, like ego
Yeah.
wise.
Like specifically the reason I asked was just because I think a whole like a big reason people are looks maxing is because the dating economy's fucked and they think they have to look a certain way to get respect from women. And I do think I genuinely feel this way. An ugly guy is like invisible to women. Okay. Especially if he doesn't have any money or really anything to offer. I think this archetype of person is the most disrespected person on the planet because a fat bitch, someone will fuck her. Someone will like look at that fucking fat ugly troglodyte and be like, you know what? I love you. But put a man in that position, nothing. Nothing. No respect, no love, not even pity. So I always tell guys, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to get, your money up. You got to get fucking develop some sort of fucking talent so you can, be interesting or whatever. And then also your looks. I put looks like lower on the hierarchy than people think, but I also never really struggled with girls or anything. So I don't know if that's just like a lucky thing. I live in Toronto, so it's like really easy to get girls here.
100%, it's hypergamy 101. Especially when it comes to just like short-term hookups, it's going to be way easier for girls. And it all kind of comes back to the concept of pregnancy. Like women have to be selective because if they fuck a guy, especially back in the day, instant pregnancy. So they got to like be very mate selective, whereas a guy can just impregnate 100 women and be chill and fuck off back in the caveman days. So it makes sense. For a relationship, it's still skewed towards the woman, but it's a little bit more even. I would say that, but 100% for hookups, women have like the biggest advantage ever.
Percent. I mean, what's the fucking thing they always say? Men control access
80-20.
to relationships, women control
Um,
access to sex. So yeah, I think it's kind of fucked though when you think about it. Like all we really do with our whole entire life is to set ourselves up to be better sexual partners. Like everything we do, all this success, all this money, da da da, whatever we're doing, all the looks maxing. When you boil it down, it's really just so we can fuck better and fuck hotter girls. You know what I mean? Fuck the people we want. That's really what it comes down to. It's really crazy because what happens when you look at all the most powerful people with all the fucking options in the world, they become sexual deviants. They get so much fucking pussy, they don't even know what to do. They start fucking 10-year-olds and shit. It's crazy. Probably will cut that out because I don't want to get fucking banned. But you know what I mean? It's just like that's really what it comes down to. So I think like the whole Looksmaxxing craze, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it really comes down to it's a reflection of how the sexual marketplace has shifted, right? Because think about it, before they always say men went to war. Well, now our wars are being fought by fucking attack drones. So we're not going to war. We, in general, unless you live in certain parts of the world, we don't have to, fight for our food or whatever. There's fucking Uber Eats. And even if you are broke, what do you have? You have one of these things. Even on your shitty fucking Samsung that costed $600, you'll still be entertained. Like worst case. So we live in this like luxury poverty. We don't have that much to worry about. So this is what people are worrying about now. And I think it's really interesting. What is something that people perceive about the Looksmaxxing community and maybe they dog on it and it's unfair? What's the most common misconception about the Looksmaxxing community?
Look, the thing is, it definitely depends, because someone like me has shifted my beliefs over time compared to like the ideologies that I used to have like back in 2019, 2020. They've definitely shifted over time as I've gained more real world experience. And like a lot of black pillars and Looksmaxxers are stupid and insufferable, right? For example, Slav has pretty similar beliefs to me, and I think he is like pretty switched on in most regards. But a lot of the just like the little kids who are a part of the black pill Looksmaxxing sphere, they don't really have a clue how the world works at all. But if you're talking about people who are like the faces of Looksmaxxing, I would say the biggest one is an overestimation of how insecure we are. I would say it's probably the biggest.
So yeah, I heard Clav say this, and actually when I went and saw him in real life, he told me that a lot of this doesn't come down to like insecurity. A lot of it comes down to just pure logic, right? So for example, if you're taller, you're going to have more options because you're 6'6" as opposed to 6'2", and that's better. So he's not insecure, it's just logical. But isn't breaking your legs for more height so you can get more girls a little bit more insecure? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you might get treated better, but also you just broke your legs. So you're you're kind of fucking yourself up, because if that height is analogous to signaling your ability to protect someone and you're breaking your legs to look like you can protect while compromising your actual ability to protect, isn't that literally the definition of insecurity?
Well, the thing with insecurity is it depends on whether something is how attached to your identity it is and how much it's based on deficit motivation versus growth motivation. Like, for example, the way I see looks more than most people is I see them as a currency or a resource, not necessarily as much as an identity. So you have these people who are terrified of changing their appearance because they identify so heavily with it. They look in the mirror and they think, that's me. And for me, I think I identify a lot more with just my consciousness, my brain, my thoughts, a lot more than my looks. I see my looks just as a currency. It's like you open your bank account's loaded, fuck yeah, but you don't identify with your bank account.
So you don't think being called a Looksmaxxer would lead people to believe that you identify with your looks?
Well, I kind of just call myself a Looksmaxxer. I'm not just a Looksmaxxer. I'm like an overall maxer. I think you need to maximize everything. I'm just in the Looksmaxxing sphere because that's what I'm known for mainly. I'm known for my transformation. I'm known for my history in the sphere. I'm not currently like purely obsessed with looks, and they don't really occupy that much of my day. I really don't spend much of my day thinking about looks. Like, my diet's locked in automatically, takes no willpower. I go to the gym because it's fun, etc. Right?
What kind of things do you do to Looksmaxx? We talked about androgens, stuff like that. Do you have like a routine or what?
So nowadays, or even throughout my ascension, it's obviously been primarily androgen usage and like whatever other drugs like MK677, going to the gym on a consistent basis, having like a diet that's at least in line with my goals. It's been like varying in quality throughout the years. Like I used to literally drink white sugar for calories because it was cheap and not very satiating. Nowadays my diet's pretty clean. It's like chicken breast, white bread, rice, and then cereal and skim milk and protein powder.
You do like shit for your hair, your eyebrows, or anything?
Yeah. So my brows and lashes are darkened, and I bone smash, and not as consistently anymore. But it used to be like I couldn't leave the house without bone smashing. I literally couldn't leave the house because
Me too, bro.
yeah, just a normal thing, right?
Was that with the hammer you were bone smashing, or with just the fist?
I always just use my fist. You know, it's portable, easy. It's on skin contact, so it doesn't really damage the skin as much. So like I'd be about to go to the gym, and I'd just be like, all right, I gotta smash my chin real quick.
You also develop your knuckles. This is what people don't understand. So when you're bone smashing, if someone fucks with you, you're like, bah, bone smash them. You know what I'm saying? So that's actually why I've been bone. No, I'm just kidding. I always thought the bone smashing thing was like cool, like just from the perspective of like, yeah, because I had a buddy who was a Muay Thai fighter, and he would smash his shin with a stick every day. I was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, feel my shin. I felt the shin. I was like, holy fuck, I know why he's doing that. But when you're hitting your face, there's no guarantee that the bone is going to grow back in the position that's symmetrical to your, So I feel like just from that perspective, it might be maybe not the best thing to do, because what's going to happen if you develop some sort of fucking bubble on your head, But yeah, man, I mean, if if you're safely bone smashing, I support. Anyway, I'm not like trying to fucking I'm really open to all this stuff. I'm not trying to like fucking make fun of it or anything. I'm just joking around. But
what I would say real quickly about the asymmetry argument is I've heard that so many times that it doesn't make sense to me, because it's like, in my opinion, it's like saying don't do bicep curls because your arms might grow to different sizes. It's like, well, if that would happen, I'll just train the other one more.
In the Looksmaxxing community, I noticed there's a thing people do. They rate each other, and I did this with Clav. I've done this with a few other people. They rate each other's looks, and a lot of times on the forums, people are kind of cruel. They're really unfair. Do you think people in the Looksmaxxing community, in the Black Pill, are actually rating people accurately? Like, I'm pretty certain if you wanted to rate me, if I got thrown up on the Looksmaxxing forum, listen, I think I'm pretty decent looking, but I think they would rate me a 2, to be completely honest. Like, do you think that's like a fair assessment, or are these people mentally deranged?
They have absolutely no idea what they're talking about, the vast majority of them. And it's like, what credentials or authority do these guys actually have? Like, most of them are losers. They've never gotten a woman in their lives. They don't leave the house. So how the fuck would they know what's attractive or not? Like, how actually would they know? They're not even, their opinions aren't even aligned with like the science behind attractiveness a lot of the time. Like they'll say that having like a wide frame is uncanny and makes you look scary and reduces attractiveness. A bunch of retarded shit. Like, there are studies debunking this to complete death. And I'm against ratings personally. Like, I think, as I said, looks are a currency for getting women and getting respect. And so why the fuck would you ask a guy what your rating is if you're not looking to fuck men? It never made sense. Like, walk around and see how you get treated by women, or go on a dating app and see how many matches you get. That's your fucking rating. Why are you asking a guy about with facial ratios? Why are you asking a guy to measure your facial ratios and all this shit when looks are just a currency to get women? So just find out how well you get women, right? Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that is a good indication. So guys, if you're doing well out on the streets, if you're doing well with women, don't worry about what some random person on the internet rates you. The counter to that is sometimes, people are getting results for reasons other than their looks, right? And people like to try and extrapolate on that, be like, oh, well, he's in a certain niche, or he has a certain phenotype that's attractive to this specific woman, or maybe he is rich, or maybe he's XYZ. I'm curious, like, what would you say your original rate? I'm not going to ask you to rate anyone, but what was your original rating before the ascension to now?
Well, my rating was definitely even lower back in school. My rating back in school was probably like a 4 out of 10.
So subhuman.
Yeah,
Is
pretty
that
much.
is that accurate? Is subhuman 4?
Yeah, pretty much a subhuman. I sort of like ascended even by like 18 because I was at least tall and I was a little bit less fucking weird looking. Like I had literally no eyebrows and like braces. I looked like an actual goblin as a kid. I would say based on the height, I was like a 5.5 out of 10. If you just went by face, probably like maybe like 4.5 to 5.
And so how about now?
I never really rate myself now because I think
It's a bit gay, isn't it? Putting you on the spot, man. What do you rate yourself?
I would have to say, and like it depends on the bell curve, but I'm higher than 99th percentile. I would say that.
How much of a halo is your height during nightlife?
Definitely a big one, but like I said, I used to be tall and with nothing else going for me, and it wasn't looking too good. Here's the funny thing is I only really got the ability to like approach women like this year.
Really?
Well, sorry, last year. Like even before that, like I was still slaying in like 2023, 2024, and I never approached. I would only rely on getting approached.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. I can't go up to girls. Fucking no. What's the slay count?
Slay count, it's a little bit under 30.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I was expecting like a crazier number.
Last year, I didn't really care too much. In 2025, it was a little bit less. It was mainly 2023 and 2024. I racked them all up.
Yeah, no, that's the best, man. When you're just like locked in, you don't give a fuck about pussy. Like sometimes in a guy's life, all they can think about is fucking pussy. It's the most unproductive thing in the world. Like holy shit. If I was like asexual, I swear to God, I would be so rich, bro. Because the amount of time, especially when I was like 18, 19, just like, bro, I didn't go to class. I didn't do anything. All I did was go to the gym and like talk to girls and then see if I could like get them over. And if I couldn't get them over, I'd go to the bars and see if I could get girls. It was the worst thing ever, bro. And I wasted so much time. Like if I literally did anything productive during that time, it would have been like a lot better.
What's funny is last year I went on a very strict cut, like almost zero fat, and I was also on no AI, pretty high estrogen, and the combo of those made me like fully asexual.
Oh wow!
Like, fully. And yeah, even late last year, it kind of happened again. Like I had literally had 4 girls over that I just refused to even fuck in a row.
Why would you just be chilling with 4 girls? That'd be fucking terrible.
No.
Get the fuck out of here. Get naked or leave, bitch. No, I'm playing. I'm kidding. That's a joke.
Yeah, but maybe that contributed to some of my productivity last year, because that's when things started to take off. But
yeah. I feel like your pent up sexual frustration, like low key makes you like a harder worker. Like when I'm like so like fucking horny and mad, I'm like, yo, like I'm gonna do some fucking work right now. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't know what I mean. This guy's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I kind of get that. The default motivation and ambition that like a man has, that we need to get fucking pussy, we need to reproduce. And until it's replaced by something else, I feel like that always is one of the main driving forces of men's ambition. It's only like people like us, we're pretty rare in the sense that we actually have very high ambition to improve our careers because the path is very set in stone, right? But for the average guy, they're working a shit job. What the fuck are they going to care about, right? What are they actually waking up and trying to do? Probably trying to get more girls because they don't give a fuck about their work.
If I didn't have social media, quite honestly, I'd be super lost in life because I always knew I wanted to do this. It wasn't necessarily like I want to, I mean, I'll ask you what you think for yourself after, but it wasn't like, oh, I want to be like a TikToker, Instagram, YouTube guy. Like that was never my goal. When I was a kid, I was just obsessed with like making videos. So like however that would have been done would be my career. So whether that's in TV, movies, like whatever, that was what I wanted to do. So it just so happened that I started doing social media, but it wasn't necessarily to become popular, I mean, that's a big plus, but it was mainly just so I could make stuff. Because what I would do is I would make stuff and then I would watch it over and over and over. And I was like, this is all that I'm doing. So let me do social media. But I remember before that, before I had that, aha moment, I was going to school and I was like telling people that I was gonna do law school or like police work or whatever. I remember as a bouncer too. And then I was just kind of like meandering. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And it's like really hard to be motivated because you wake up and you don't even know what the fuck your goal is. It's like, what am I gonna just wake up and be some fucking slave for some boss who doesn't give a fuck about me, or God forbid, make no money, have no freedom? Sounds like, if I was a fucking police officer, sounds like I would have been in jail by the looks of my life. I have to be somewhere by a certain time and fucking someone's gonna tell me what to do and belittle me, and then, I mean, shout out to the fucking good cops out there, but it's just, sounded fucking shit, to be honest. And so I completely agree with that. Was that kind of where you were at?
100%. Before I got into like really being a social media influencer, whatever you want to call it, I woke up and all I thought was, how do I look better and how do I get more women? Those were like my two fucking goals.
Mm-hmm.
And everything else was just a complete blur. I mean, I went into security. I was a bouncer as well. That's like the one job that I've done prior to having this platform. And that was fun. But again, that was like purely to get girls and just get exposure to people in nightlife and get paid for it. It was like, seemed like a good gig.
It's crazy, man. I've talked about being a bouncer before. Do you ever watch any of my videos talking about it?
I think I watched one of them.
After I made a couple of videos talking about it, like a bunch of people hit me up being like, yo, I started being a bouncer. And one of them is an influencer in Miami now. He's like popular now. But before that, because I made these videos like 2 years ago. Before that, he became a bouncer because of me. So it's just really interesting. I think everyone kind of has the same mentality because it's like you literally get paid to stand there and watch social dynamics unfold. And for, some of us who are like these kind of like high performing guys, but we're like low key autistic, like that's like perfect because it's like I get to watch you fail so I can succeed. You know what I mean? Everyone notices the same stuff. Everyone notices the guys who get the most girls and what they're doing and like who has the status in the club. It's funny if you work at like a little shitty bar versus like a big nightclub in the city, like the different people who come in and everything. It's really fascinating. How long did you work as a bouncer?
About a year and a half. Well, what I loved as a bouncer is you're essentially getting paid to mog.
Oh yeah, dude.
I think it's perfect as anyone that's involved in looks and getting women and is like looks like masculine, has a good physique. Mm-hmm. It's like the prime job because it's actually fun. Like I remember at a good venue, it was more fun being security than just like going out because you get way more fucking attention because you have so many more excuses for women to talk to you. And also you can act autistic and plausible deniability is there, right? Like you can literally stand there nonchalant, like not even responding to them, just mean mugging. And they're like, oh, he's just doing his job, But and you could just like stand around and like look at the hot girl.
Just as if you're just there, a wallflower, everyone's like, ew, what the fuck is wrong with him? But it's like, you're doing the exact same thing. You just have a shirt on that says security. And what's crazy, what's so crazy? I never got more girls in my life than when I worked as a bouncer. I had so many girls coming up to me. I had like probably like 10, 12 a night come up to me. I would go out to the same place, but just for fun. Nothing. And I really do think that has to do with like when you're a bouncer, you automatically have status and you also have control to access. So a woman will see that and find that, attractive. Also, I think they just want to see if they can fuck a bouncer versus if you're just some guy, you're just some guy. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, he's just some guy. You're bouncer. It's like, wow. You know what I mean? Not saying I never pulled bitches without a security shirt on, but, and the other thing is if I want to have comparable success in nightlife, it's like, now it's like I gotta show who I am sort of. So if like people know who I am and they're like taking photos, I'm sure the same happens to you. It's like, okay, now girls start looking. But if I'm just like walking around, they might look, but they're not going to necessarily come up to me.
Yeah, for me, I would say I definitely get the most girls right now just because I have a lot of status now and it makes it easy. But the second most was definitely working as a bouncer at like one of the best venues. It was just so easy, and it was funny when like early last year or like late 2024, Clav and I would be in Discord just like telling each other about our nights and like how many
Yeah.
fucking women we pulled or whatever. It was pretty funny.
When it comes to you having a lot of status now, is that because people actually like the girls themselves have seen you, or like maybe a guy sees you and he's telling everyone who you are, sort of thing? Because I'm not gonna
It
lie,
started off.
sorry to cut you off, but girls will only know who I am if their boyfriend watches me. They're like, "Oh, my boyfriend watches you." Like, cool. Like, "Oh, where's Shan?"
Yeah, so in my case, it started off with mainly being the latter, being where guys would know me and then like I'd be getting swarmed asking for pics and then girls would be like, what the fuck, who's this guy?
Yeah.
But nowadays, surprisingly, a lot of women come up to me saying they're fans. A lot of women know me. They're like, oh, Androgenic, and they're like asking me for a pic and stuff. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like a lot of my fame is localized in Brisbane because that's how the TikTok algorithm works. So I'm like pretty fucking famous here.
You know, let's say the average guy is like a 5. Would you agree with that?
By definition, yeah.
How does one go from a 5 to a 7 or an 8?
The tried and true method really is going to be taking androgens, getting really fucking lean and muscular, getting tan, making your coloring, darkening your eyebrows and lashes, probably having like medium length hair, and getting whatever surgery benefits you personally. And just in some cases, bone smashing, depending on your facial base. It depends on what their flaws are and how easily fixable they are. If your eyes are like way too fucking close together or far apart, you're kind of fucked. Like, unless you want to get an orbital box osteotomy to fix that, you're kind of fucked. Yeah. And then, if you have a fucked up nose, rhinoplasty is pretty simple, right? If you have like completely like recessed maxilla like all the way through, you're probably not going to get a fucking LaForce 3. Again, you're kind of fucked. Fucked up teeth, braces, really skinny, fucking roids, short, fucked, super narrow frame. You can do a little bit, but kind of fucked.
What do you think I should do?
What should you do?
Yeah.
Well, in your case, I would say 10. Maybe personally, I remember when you had like longer hair, I personally thought that looked probably better on you. Mm-hmm. Darken the brows and lashes a bit more. Not to say they're a weak point, but they can always be stronger. Yeah, like really lean, both on like water weight and body fat. Maybe get a bit of bone smashing. I doubt you'll do that. Yeah. I doubt you'll do that.
I'm mog if I do that. Will I become Chad or will I be Chad light? Or maybe I'll just be what like level would I be at? It's like in fucking COD if you get to fucking Grandmaster 3 or whatever. What am I now? Am I subhuman and then will I get to mid tier?
I would assume based on fucking looking at you, you go in public and even if people don't know who you are, you're gonna get treated pretty well.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And then if you max everything out in the ways that I suggest, you do even better. Right? Like you'd be pretty fucking stand out.
Yeah, it's just like I don't want to take all that time. I do think like I should try it though, just because like I am on camera a lot, so like couldn't hurt to do. It's like at the end of the day, it's not that big a deal, and like if your career is on camera all the time, it'd be this equivalent of like taking care of your body as an athlete. So I really should get into it. I think I like talking about it and like listening about it more than actually like doing it, because like I fucking hate pinning anything. I have, bro, the amount of peptides I have in my fridge, because I'm sponsored, right? Haven't touched them since I got back. I haven't pinned any fucking tests. Haven't really done the only thing I've done is gotten a haircut. It's like the only thing I've done since I've been back from jail. So fuck.
It would be easy to attend there. I know that.
I didn't go outside the entire time. I was in there the whole month. Like they didn't let us out. So it's so gay.
Yeah, and then now even in Toronto, you won't be getting fuck all like
UV must be freezing, bro. It's freezing. Yeah. But I don't know if I want to dye my hair black, but I could do like dark brown, and then I could get a tan with a tanning bed and use MT2, and then use like Retta at like 3 mg a week. Sorry, have the hiccups. And then I probably put a little bit of crystal meth in my protocol as well.
Yeah.
Yep. And maybe some TRT and some Anavar. But I also want to stay natural because what's it called? Misfits Boxing hit me up, and I do want to do that. And like, I don't know, but like, I could
Yeah.
still take fucking like Milano tan. Like, they're not gonna be like, holy shit, you're
Yeah.
too tan to fucking box this guy. Like, you know? Yeah, but
It's too hard.
would you ever do like a fuck me, I almost forgot. Would you ever do an influencer fight? I saw that bodybuilder Henry who beat the fuck out of his girlfriend. He was chirping at you.
I would definitely have to get into like training a fighting sport for a decent while beforehand, but I wouldn't be opposed to the idea of like doing a fight.
So what happened there? You're out streaming, and then Mr. Henry pulled up on you and just fucking, what did he do?
Honestly, like it was a little bit staged. I'm not gonna lie.
It was oh, you know him.
I don't really know him, but I know some of his friends.
Oh, so they were like, "Yo, we're gonna pull up on you. Like, let's like."
Well, the funny thing was that it was sort of staged, but everyone thought it was real, including the friends, because it actually did escalate. Like he did push me pretty fucking hard, like impulsively, but I didn't really care.
But did you know who he was before?
I knew who he was.
You knew he like beat the fuck out of his girl? Because that shit was on the
Yeah,
news. I saw that, bro.
Yeah, that's why I didn't like. I wasn't gonna do any content where I was like being friendly with him. Like, I thought it would be
Yeah,
some
yeah, that
fucking
was
kids,
horrible.
yeah.
Holy fuck! Like, what a shitty guy. What peptides would you recommend?
Overall, I think peptides are fucking cope for muscle and bone for the most part. Like, I suppose they can do a little bit, but it's like take fucking GH, take GH and test. That's gonna do way more. I mean, GH can be considered like a peptide hormone, I suppose, but it's not really like. I mean, MT2 and Retta is like the tried and true for just fucking getting lean and tan easily.
Yeah, you're completely right. I think peptides in general, like, they're not going to ascend you. I had talked to a lot of people about this. It's crazy how people think, oh, if you just take this peptide stack, you're going to look like so and so. It's not really the case, especially if the creator telling you that has a code. Like, they're getting a hefty commission percentage. So you should really check what they're saying. Like, for example, if they're not saying any side effects or not mentioning any cons at all, like for example, if they're not even saying it's expensive, then I wouldn't even listen to them, because that's just or if they're not listing better alternatives either, I wouldn't listen to them, because there's, how many videos have you seen where it's like the top 3 best peptides, they just name the peptides and then it's the code. It's like, what?
I think the peptide industry booming in the past year has 100% mostly been propaganda for money, 100%. Because yeah, they don't do that much, and it's annoying when the amount of times I get people in real life coming up, recognizing me, and asking, "So like, what peptide should I take? Or like, what do you think about peptides?" And I'm like, dude, they're fucking dog shit. Just take tests.
So I think Big Pharma, they're banning retatrutide from being sold. They're doing like a big cleanup on it, and so you're probably only going to be able to purchase that through a pharmacy. So that's the best peptide for fat loss. I mean, if Red is banned, what do you think people are going to take?
Well, if Red is banned, you can just go down to tirzepatide or semaglutide, aka Ozempic. They're still pretty good options. So like, all I need is Ozempic nowadays. I have retatrutide and semaglutide, and if I need a cut, I'll just take a very low dose of semaglutide, and then boom, appetite gone, easy cut. So it's not the end of the world, but I think it's pretty fucking bullshit that you're getting such a miracle drug that could cure the obesity epidemic and obviously be extremely pro longevity, and you're gonna fucking make that illegal. Like, they should put retatrutide in the fucking water supply at this point.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think that should be good. All right, guys, this was the first chat with Androgenic. We're definitely gonna have to do another one, because this one was kind of just random off the cuff. But next time we could actually have a really proper in-depth conversation, and I think it'll be really good. Hopefully, I'll see you traveling a little bit now that you're finding all this success. Maybe you could come to Toronto, or we could meet up in the States or something. I'm actually planning on coming down to Australia, and maybe I'll get Mog down there as well. What do you think?
Fuck yeah, that'll be good. When are you planning on coming here?
I think it's got to be in either February or March, I'd say.